If there was a most common error that I see in gigs when I do these reviews, and I've done a lot of them, I've lost track how many I've done. I do them very frequently, often one at least every single day. With that, there's one error that I see come up all the time. It happens all the time, and it makes such a huge impact. If you were actually doing it, it would help out your gig significantly. And this error gets overlooked all the time. It's almost becoming one of the first things that I look for when I do a gig review is I glance to see, was this done? Oftentimes it's not, and when it's not done, it's really impacting your gig. So make sure you stick around to find out what that is and make sure that your gig has that because it's super important to have it. My name is Brian from Ridgeback Productions, and I help beginning voiceover talents just like you grow your business and generate income, hopefully lots and lots of income. That's the goal, and as the years have progressed and gone on, it seems to be working. We've had a pretty high success rate. I'm often working with talents that are doing really well, and they check in with me and give me updates. And I actually just had another consultation with a talent that I've been working with for close to a year now. And she just booked a very minor character, but a minor character in a Pixar movie. So very cool. She doesn't know the details of how much, because sometimes when we do our work, you don't know how much you're going to be used. And when you're a minor character, sometimes that minor character is just like a passing grunt or a small little line. Oftentimes that minor character could be turned into something bigger. You never know. Anyways, you get paid for your work, and then how they use it, you don't know. Anyways, beyond that, we're going to get back into this. We're going to be doing a gig review for a gentleman named Jim that reached out to me. He wants a gig review, looked over his gig. I don't make a video for every review that I do. Truth is, I just do too many of these, and I don't have the time to make a video for every. Okay, well, let me back that up. I do make a video. I don't post every video on YouTube. The quality of the video for the review that you're seeing right now, this is kind of like at a higher level, if you even want to call it a higher level, because it's not that high level. But if when you order a gig review, you have the option of saying, I don't want it to go on YouTube. And I respect that. And even if you do say that you're okay with it, oftentimes it doesn't go on YouTube because I just didn't have the time. But if you say you're not willing to have it go on YouTube, it definitely does not. And the videos that don't go on YouTube, whether you say you don't want it or I just don't use it for YouTube, those are a little bit more minor. They're a little bit shorter. You still get the great content, but I don't put all the extra frills and stuff into it. I just don't have the time, but I will send you a video. If you are interested in getting your own gig review, you can click on the link down here below. It'll take you to a short little form, ask your name, your email, how long you've been in voiceover, some little easy questions, and then most importantly, your Fiverr gig profile so that I can check it out. Oh, by the way, so if you want a gig review, can you check and make sure that that link that you send me actually links to your gig? Sometimes I get sent links that do nothing. Sometimes I get sent links to your actual profile of all your gigs. And what I'm looking for specifically is this gig review is a literal gig review. It's for one gig. So pick one of the gigs that you want me to look at. If you have more than one, I'd be happy to do the review for you. Just make sure you send me the correct link. What else? What else is going on? Doing a lot of consultations. So with these, I do a gig review, and then a lot of times talents will they want to dive a little bit deeper into it. And so we get on a 1 hour plus Zoom call and we go over your gig, tip to toe and do everything together. Sometimes, most of the time it's through the gig, but occasionally there's, sometimes I just met with a great talent that he's interested in getting going on Fiverr. He's got a Fiverr profile, he's got a Fiverr gig, but he really wanted to get into more of like the business of voiceover and how to work independently. How do you best get off the platform? How do you find work? And I have strategies for that. I'm on Fiverr. I've been on Fiverr for a long time. On my second account with Fiverr because my first account got deleted due to That's a long story. You know, inevitably it was my fault, but it wasn't really my fault. I contacted a buyer the buyer contacted me off the platform, but it was only for a live directed session for an order they presently had. And it was a client that I'd had and it had already placed. It was going on upwards of, I think, 11 or 12 orders, and it doesn't matter. So got flagged, lost my account. I'm on my second account. I'm a level 2 and I'm fine with that. I don't push very hard on Fiverr because truth is the biggest source of my income doesn't come from Fiverr. It comes from off platform. Fiverr is a great place to get started in your career. It's a great place to grow your career. And it's like a pyramid. As you move up, there is a lot of talents that actually have YouTube channels and do similar to what I do, and they make a lot of money, and those people are great. And you can make a lot of money on Fiverr. There's a lot of money to be made, but it's also a good place to get started, and that's kind of where I am to help you out. So in this video, we're going to be checking out Jim's gig. We're going to do a little video review for that. You're going to see what I'm looking for and what you can do and adapt for that. I got a couple changes that I typically recommend that I've since changed my opinion. As my business grows, as I learn more, as I work with my Fiverr success coach, I learn new things. Fiverr's constantly changing, and I got a big change. There's going to be a recommendation here that I'm going to give Jim that, prior to this, I wasn't really recommending. And, things have changed with Fiverr, and I think this is the new direction to be taken. And I'll make a video about that we can discuss later. So we're going to be diving in. Don't want to miss it because, like I said at the beginning of the video, there is a major part that a lot of talents that create these gigs are missing. They're not doing it. It's an opportunity that you're not doing. You're not filling that part out, and it makes a huge difference to your gig. You want to make sure you're doing it. Let's check it out right now. Here we go. All right, so here we are at Jim's gig, and we're checking it out. And we're going to go from the top to the bottom and go through some key aspects. And then, of course, Jim, if you want to dive a little bit deeper into this and do a consultation and really get some help on how to fix some of these suggestions, I'm here for you. But Jim, any of you that get these reviews, even if you don't get a review from me, there's a lot of valuable knowledge in these reviews. And if you take notes or you remember these, make sure you do it. It's going to do nothing but help. Okay, let's go. Let's have a look at your title. Your title is, I Will Be Your Perfect Scottish Voiceover. I love it. So the first thing that I'm looking for is, I want you to mention where you're from, what you do, and what gender you are. Okay, so you're Scottish, so I'm going to presume that you live in Scotland, or you're just Scottish, period, or you do a great Scottish impression. Either way, dialed in. That's the type of voiceover. It's going to be Scottish. What do? Your voiceover. You did voiceover in one word. Voiceover can also be 2 words. Use them interchangeably. It doesn't matter, but whatever you use in your title, in Jim's case, Jim, you're using voiceover 1 word. When we get to the bottom and I check your keyword tags, I want to make sure that you have voice space over, because you got to use them both. Use it in your title, use it in your keywords. Okay. Part you're missing here, Jim, is what gender are you? I could tell from your picture that you're a man, you're a male, but your title should have that. I will be your perfect Scottish male voiceover. Your perfect male Scottish voiceover. However you want to phrase it, I'm not going to tell you what to write, but I do want you to include male, because buyers might be searching without even looking at thumbnails. And if they search male Scottish voiceover, you're just not going to show up as high as you would if you included it. You know what I'm saying? If they type male Scottish voiceover, you're going to show up. Where? I don't know, but I guarantee you'd show up higher if you had male in that. The idea is, and we can never know what buyers are going to type for their search, but the idea is, as close of If we can make our title as close to exactly what they type in, that's how you show up right at the top. And oftentimes buyers aren't typing in phrases, they're not typing in sentences, they're just kind of typing in keywords. And typically they start with, just in the experience that I've learned, usually they start with the gender they're looking for, whether they're looking for male or female, and then they'll put voiceover, so male voiceover, or they might even put male American or male Scottish, whatever. So point is, Jim, get male in your title. Cool. All right. Looking at your profile picture. There's my mouse. I love your profile picture. Profile picture is a picture of you. There are many times where I see talents don't have a picture of themselves. They use their company logo, they use a microphone, they use something else. Highly recommend, and it makes a big, big, big difference to use a picture of yourself. Now, I did a consultation recently with a talent that, for some good reasons, doesn't want to be identified as who he is because of some other stuff. And if you know, you know, I can't get into it if you don't know, but just let it be said, and it's a valid reason. He's on Fiverr, but doesn't want, it can't be known that it's actually him that's doing it. Okay. So my suggestion to him was, and he was already using a pseudonym, or it was his real name, whatever, but it was common enough that you couldn't really tell. My suggestion to him was use a stock image of a person, because we're fighting AI here. And in fighting AI, any reference to it not being a real person is just is going to be a detriment to you. So if your logo is your business logo, or it's a picture of a microphone, whatever, if your profile picture, this right here, is anything but a picture of a real person, you're just hurting yourself. So make sure your profile picture is a real person. Hopefully it's you. If it's not, I understand, but have it be a real person. All right, cool. So Jim, you got 5 stars, 14 of them. Great. Your summary is 1-day delivery. Perfect. It always has to be 1-day delivery. If you're not sure why, you can go back into other videos that I've done. I talk about this in almost every video. It's crucial. I won't go into the super details about it, but you need 1-day delivery because you can get filtered out either way, and there's ways to work around it. If you feel you can't do 1-day delivery, trust me, you can. Drop a comment below and I'll help explain it to you. You can, I can help you. You need to. 1-day delivery, great. You're also giving 1 revision. Perfect, Jim. That's all you got to do. All right, so here's that change. Remember I said in previous videos, I'm typically recommending a different something, and I'm going to go new. This new thing I've kind of learned from my Fiverr success coach is pricing, right? So right now, Jim is at $10 for 150 words. I'm good with that. If I can give you a recommendation, Jim, if you wanted to, make some more money, it's going to hurt you in the beginning, but you'll catch up, is I would adjust it to 100 words. My new thing now is 100 words. The dollar amount can be adjusted. I was always at like $5 for 250, 350 words. Like just offer them the world to get orders. The challenge with that is I've since learned that the $5 order is dropping out on Fiverr. Not that they're not getting rid of it. They're certainly not. Their whole platform is built off Fiverr, a $5 order. But the issue is in voiceover, those $5 orders have been going significantly to AI voices. So I've been told by my success coach, get out of that $5, $10 zone because it's only going to AI people. So here's my suggestion to you, Jim, is drop down to 100 words. Go to 100 words. If you want to do $10 for 100 words, $15 for 100 words, I would just drop it to 100 words. 100 words. Now, this has nothing to do with the $5, $10, AI issue that I was just referencing. But one thing that they figured out in a, I don't know if it was, I don't want to say it was a survey. I suppose it wasn't a survey. I don't remember the word he used for it, but he was explaining to me, my success coach, he was explaining to me that polling, that's what it was. Upon polling buyers on Fiverr, they like to see 100 words because it's just an easy number and an easy increment rather than trying to figure out 150, then 300, then 450. 100 is just easy for them to go 100, 200. Like it's simple to count. They like 100 words. I'm like, great. Well, that helps us as voiceover artists because it's just less words that we're charging for. So my new recommendation is 100 words. If you want to stay at $10, Jim, great. If you want to bump it up to 15 to give that a shot and get out of the $5, $10 AI zone that seems to be growing and impacting our industry, and you want to try the 15, try it. But I would drop your word count to 100 words. All right, so far so good. Looking at your thumbnail, Jim, I do have a small issue with it, all right? One thing that I'm noticing, first off, just overall, your thumbnail needs to be in what they call the rule of thirds. So if you split up this rectangular thumbnail frame into equal 3 parts, 2/3 of that image should be roughly the picture of you looking at the camera, looking as if you're looking me in the eye, because that's like a trustworthy thing. That's what buyers are looking for. I can trust you. You're looking at me. It doesn't look aloof. A smile, or you look very friendly. In Jim's case, it's perfect. This is a great image, Jim. I love it. Okay, so that looks good. You're filling up roughly 2/3. The other 1/3 of your thumbnail would be the text. You don't want too much text. You just want it to be bold and stand out. And his says your perfect Scottish voiceover. This is great. Here's the dilemma. It's now getting a little bit busy. Well, here's the major thing that I'm going to say, and then we'll go into like it being busy. When you order a thumbnail on Fiverr, when you pay somebody to make you a thumbnail on Fiverr, when they send you a draft of what they've made, it is watermarked all over with Fiverr. Jim, this image is watermarked with Fiverr. So what happened is I'm just guessing, you likely hired someone to make this thumbnail for you. Excellent idea. They sent you this draft or rough draft. You probably approved it and bought it, but you accidentally, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here, you accidentally used the draft rather than the final copy, because the final copy is not watermarked with Fiverr. The draft, for graphic artists, this is their protection. They can show you images without you stealing them. And I'm not saying you stole them, Jim. I know you didn't steal it. But that's what they do, is it's watermarked so that the image is essentially kind of ruined because it has all these watermarks on it. And that's fine, Jim, but I think you use this instead of the final copy. So you want to get the final one and put it into your thumbnail so it doesn't have all these watermarks, because it's just making it super busy, okay? Other than that, I see a castle in the background. That makes sense. Maybe you're showing some beautiful like Scottish landscaping, but it just this watermark is throwing me off, and it's you even have Fiverr on your forehead. So I'm sure you see this. Easy mistake. You can fix that. Okay. All right. Bump. Here's the big one. Here's the one that I was referencing at the beginning of the video, and so many times, so many talents make this error and they don't do it. And Jim, you did it. You made the mistake. No problem. You're going to fix it, and it's really going to help out your gig tremendously. And here it is. You don't have a gig video. So Fiverr will allow you, when you put up your demos, they're going to allow you to have what I like to call your first impression demo reel. Okay. Plus you can have 3 more additional demos. So the way that it works is your first impression demo reel should be a video. It's a 60-second, 75-second demo reel that switches spots every 8 to 12 seconds, highlighting as talented as you are, showing your range of what you can do. So it's not all the same, and it's a video. Fiverr says you're about 67% more likely to get hired if the buyer is looking at a video of your work. So essentially what they're seeing is they're seeing video happening with your voiceover over it. And you can do it for everything. A commercial, a promo, an e-learning. Man, I've even seen them for IVR. I've seen them for audiobook. It can be done. You need a video. All right, so let's check out your demo. I'm going to check out your demo, Jim. I honestly don't remember if it's a demo reel, but I do remember clicking on it and seeing that it's not a video because like I said in the beginning of the video, it's really become the first thing that I check on these gigs is do they have a video because it makes such a drastic difference. All right, so here is Jim's demo.
When you look after someone, it can be easy to lose track of your energy spending, especially when the prices are so unpredictable. The Bowmore 23-year-old single malt whisky, crafted from legend. Sorry I can't be with you at the moment. It can make you irritable or intolerant, make you feel anxious or worried. Oh man, that place was a gem. We spent hours building it. You want to feel good knowing you're giving them the healthiest, tastiest, most natural dry food.
So here's what I'm referring to. Jim, this is great. Love your voice. You do have a great Scottish accent. Here's the challenge. Because there's not a video to accompany your voiceover, it's very difficult to know that you're doing different spots. I can tell that you're giving me a demo reel of different spots, but there's two main problems. One, they're not really distinguishable enough to know that you're doing different spots. Other than the content that you're talking about, that's how I can tell you're talking about something different. But let's just say you were just doing your whole demo reel of blah, 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 saying whatever. They're not even real words. I'm not saying your voiceover sounds like blah, 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 blah. That does sound rude. But there's no inflection change. There's no range. It all sounds the same to me. So without this video, I can't tell you're doing different spots. What you're doing is great. And if someone wants to hire you for this specific thing, you're dynamite at it. But I want to hear what else you can do. And the problem is I'm 30 seconds in and I've only heard one thing. I could tell they're different spots just because the content, but I want to hear you do more.
Food there is. In this video, you'll be taken on a journey through the Apollo 13 disaster. What does it look like? Your hope for redemption, for understanding. But we'll get our treasure back, as sure as my name is Scrooge McDuck. Plans,
see, that's good.
Estimates, resources, budgets can feel like a lot to pay attention to all at once. Finding something that actually...
Okay, so just then the whole Scrooge McDuck thing, I did hear some range change of what you're doing. I highly suggest, Jim, you got to get a video for these to help you out. You know, sometimes as talents we get into what you could refer to as it's my wheelhouse. It's what I'm really good at. It's what I'm comfortable with. And that's fine. I'm not here to tell you that you need to do a bunch of different things. And by a bunch of different things, I don't mean documentary, promo, commercial. I don't mean different genres. If you have a range as a voiceover artist and you just want to stick to that one thing that you can do, then do that. You're going to get hired more frequently, more often, if you can offer a range of what you can do by emotion, if you can sound like you're sad, if you can sound like you're very excited, if you can sound like you're being a salesman, pushy, talkative, if you're a fast talker, if you can, whatever, if you can offer a range of emotions and delivery styles and speed, then you're just offering more for someone to hire you to. But if you sound the same and deliver the same pace, the same tone, the same everything, same emotion, that's fine. It's a struggle, though, when I can't tell that you're doing different ones. And right at this end, the whole Scrooge McDuck one, I did hear a vocal change. So if you don't want to you should do a video. I'm not going to even give you the opportunity. You have to do a video. I would almost recommend that just on its audio alone, that the Scrooge McDuck and then this next demo that you're getting into goes to the front because that's the most different. That's the biggest range change that I hear, and that's what you should be offering. You should come out real freaking strong with your demo. Big, strong hook to get somebody. Then you give them a second one, which is a contrast of emotions to show them you can do that too. And then you write out the rest of your demo showing the range that you can offer. And I didn't hear much range until this one section. So just that said, I'd move those and you got to put a video on this. All right. let's get into your demos of 2, 3, 4. Remember, I told you Fiverr lets you put your first impression demo reel and then 3 additional audio files that you could put. They don't have to be demo reels. They could just be 15-second, 30-second, whatever spots you want them to be. They could just be the whole spot. All right, so this should be another demo.
I think we all feel the same sometimes. Stressed, pressured, anxious, alone. We get squeezed, suffocated, thrown around and used when needed, but are left alone to handle the consequences. That's a lot to handle, especially if we don't know how to.
It's good. I like that. Yep. Got another one.
Scotland's space sector is rising faster than anywhere else in the UK, aiming to grow in value to £4 billion by 2030.
That's good. These all sound the same. I like them, Jim. You have a great voice, great delivery, but they all sound the same.
There's a stone almost 400 million
This
years
does
in the
not.
making, quarried in the Highlands of Scotland.
This is great. This is my favorite you've done, Jim. I love this one. Okay, now you're giving me some suspense. I'm like leaning in as I'm listening because I want to hear what you're going to say. Your pacing's great. This is dynamite. This should be your opener for your demo reel with your video. This should definitely be the front runner. This is great. This is really, really good. This is like a documentary style delivery and you are nailing it. So again, no insult. I'm not trying to insult you at all, Jim, and I hope you're taking this for the constructive criticism it is. You're all pretty much everything you're doing is just that very comforting conversational tone. Whether you're talking about a commercial, you're talking about a product, a promotion, everything, it seems to all sound about the same, with the exception of that one like switch with the Scrooge McDuck, and then you went into something else, and then now this is different too. So I want to see that range, Jim. I want to hear it. I want you to get a lot of work. I want you to demonstrate that you could do more than just being that nice, calm, comforting, conversational guy. You got to give them more. You got to be suspenseful like this one. This is good. Okay. Enough. Let's move on. About this gig. So it needs to be about the gig and not about you. I say this in every single video, but that's okay. Many talents, they don't know what to put for about the gig, and so they inevitably talk about themselves. I got it. My 30 years plus experience behind the microphone means you'll receive a fully edited voiceover within 24 hours. As an MP3 or a WAV file, please note this is the maximum time. That doesn't make sense. Well, 2 things. One, why is time zones permitting? Time zones do have things to do with our time, clearly, but 24 hours is 24 hours. Like, if you get the order, Jim, at 8 a.m., you have 24 hours to submit your order and deliver it by 8 a.m. your time. Well, if you're in Scotland or wherever you are, if I order from you and it's 9 p.m. my time, it doesn't matter what time it's 24 hours is 24 hours regardless. So you putting time zones permitting is just kind of confusing because it's unnecessary. It's not time zone permitting. You're going to receive a fully edited voiceover within 24 hours. But I want you to be cautious though, because I don't want a buyer to hold you to this, all right? So you're saying that you can do 24 hours, that's great. What if I hire you though for a audiobook? What if my audiobook is, 72,000 words? Buddy, Jim, I don't want you to do 72,000 words in 24 hours, okay? You're not gonna, your throat's gonna hurt, it's stressful, and truthfully, it's not even going to sound good because your voice is just not going to be able to hold up for that long. So don't guarantee or say that it's no matter what, it's 24 hours. Like, depending on the order length, you're going to do 24 hours. That's why it's touchy with the whole, I don't know. Maybe you say like with most orders, it's within 24 hours. I don't know. Okay. Moving on. All Fiverr clients receive priority access to my studio, and you could receive your broadcast-ready audio file within a couple of hours. If it's urgent, please inform me when you order. Okay, 1 revision's free. Great. I'm really looking forward to working with you on your next wizard. Okay. And yes, you do have a soft, warm Scottish accent. You got to add more to this, okay? It's short. You don't talk about your ordering style, your ordering process. What can the buyer expect when they order from you? What's the steps that they're going to go through to order from you? What are you going to do when you order? Like, it's an all unknown. They want to know, what do they get when they order from you? Not just that it's going to be broadcast ready and that they can get it in 24 hours. They want to know, like, how's the communication going to be? Can they ask you questions? What if there's a concern? What if, whatever, like, so go through that process. That's an important part to have in your About This gig. Very important part. All right, moving down. Language other. Don't do that. Language is English, because other is, what are you talking about? Alien? I've never met a buyer or heard of a buyer that would search for voiceover in the language of other. So what I would do is change it to English. And if your intention is to say that you can do other languages, be clear about that in your About This gig or About the Seller. Or choose other languages. Don't choose other. That's a big mistake. You got to change that, Jim. Put it to English. Age range. Yeah. Middle-aged. So as far as the age ranges go, there's, I can't remember what they call it. There's child, adult, middle-aged, and senior, I think. The number 1 selling voiceover age range is adult. So what I would do, Jim, is regardless of your own personal age, you fit within the adult age range. So if a buyer is to filter out, they only want voiceover artists in the adult age range, because to them, they're like, well, I don't want any like kids, so I'm just going to choose adult. If they choose adult age range, they're going to filter you out, and you don't want that. So I would change that to adult. Of course, you could do a middle age, but age range for adult age range is that's what gets sold on Fiverr. It's not a whole lot of middle-aged or senior. So be where most of the voiceover is, and that is adult, okay? By looking at your picture, I can tell that you're within an age range that you could do a more middle-aged voiceover. Buyer's going to see that too. I would change that to adult. Your tone is authoritative, calming, conversational, corporate, emotional. Yep, I heard those. Purpose, video narration, meditation, YouTube. Okay, great. The number 1 selling purpose for voiceover on Fiverr is video narration, so you definitely want to include that. Any other purpose that you choose is up to you. Yeah, I mean, if you want, but you can always switch those around, I guess is what I'm saying. And any of you, Jam, any of you, you could change the radio, commercial, TV, whatever. You change it up. Just make sure you have video narration. Good. All right, let's get to know Jim. All right, he's from the United Kingdom. Your last delivery was 4 months ago. Okay. Been a member for a while, and I think you just took a break, you were telling me. Yeah, it's good. I love it. It's good. All right, looking at your order details, you need more. Just without even me looking at what you're offering, the order details is where the money's going to start to come in, because you get to upcharge for certain things. So kind of the implication is, if it's not listed, then it's included. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So list it so that you can show that it's not included and that they'd have to pay for it if they want it. All right. So you're doing commercial rights and broadcast rights for $20 each. That's a mistake. Commercial rights and broadcast rights are 2 different things. And I won't go into the details of what the difference is, but essentially, well, first off, they're very hard to sell on Fiverr in my experience, and from everyone I've talked to. It's kind of like buyers that know they need the rights. You want to be able to have it so you can offer it you trying to sell somebody on needing their rights, it's slim pickings. It hardly ever happens. That said, there is a difference between commercial and broadcast. Your broadcast should be probably double. So if you want 20 for commercial, I would do 40 for broadcast. But I'm not here to tell people, I try not to tell people their pricing for their order details. You do what you want for your own business. Just know that there is a difference between commercial and broadcast. All right. Split files, you're going to split them for up to five for $15. Again, not here to tell you what to charge, but you'd probably sell that more often if you sold it for cheaper, because it's pretty easy for us to do. And yeah, you can get less for it. Or if you charge less, you'll sell more. That's just my experience. All right. Additional revisions are $10. Great. Make sure that you are very clear on what your revision policy is so that the buyer doesn't take advantage of that. I'm sure in your FAQ, you're going to go over what your revision policy is, because I don't want you to get taken advantage of. Background music is $10. Great. Make sure that you're very clear on what this means. Do they have to supply the music? Do they have to buy the music? Does it mean all you're doing is putting it in for them? Just you be clear on that. And then there's a lot more you can be offering that I don't see you offering. Script proofreading is one. Faster service is another one. There's a ton of stuff that you could be upcharging for. All right. See your reviews. Looking dynamite. Great. Okay, so here is your tags. Remember at the beginning I said your title, if you're using voiceover as one word, you need to have voiceover as 2 words as your tag, and you don't. You have voiceover 1 word in your title, but you're also using it as a tag, so it doesn't help you. The top 2 places that you'll get found is your title and your tags. So they need to be different. If you're using voiceover 1 word in your title, don't use it as your tag. So ditch that, make it voice space over. And then any of these other tags, they're probably already there. I know one of your purposes or something above was conversational, so that's not helping you. Audiobooks and narrator, those are helping you. And you could have 5 tags. So you're missing a tag. You're using voiceover 1 word, so that's not helping you. And you have conversational, which is already as one of your, let's just look. Tones, duh. Okay, tones. It's one of your tones. Okay, so those 3 little errors right there. 1, you don't have a 5th tag. 2, you're using voice over 1 word, which is already in your title, and conversational, which is one of your tones. That's not helping you. So 3 little mistakes. Essentially, you have 2 tags that are helping you. Audiobooks and narrator, you have 3 more spots that would help you get found, and that just means more potential buyers for you. So let's add 3 unique tags. Okay, going up to the beginning. What is the big takeaway? The big takeaway for you, Jim, to be honest, is if I was to change one thing on your gig that's going to make the most impact, it would be that you need to have a video gig right now, or video demo. You don't have your video demo reel. It would help you a lot. I already talked about this. I'm not going to keep harping on it, but Jim, that's going to make a big difference. I also mentioned that you got to change out this thumbnail because this is the draft that you got. It's not the final copy. You should not have Fiverr watermarks on your thumbnail. It just oozes and oozes of, I took this from the graphic artist without paying. And I am not saying you did that, Jim, at all. I'm not making any accusations. I'm sure you paid for it. You probably just accidentally used the wrong thumbnail, but you got to be cautious. You got to notice these things, guys, because it stands out. It is blatantly obvious that this is the draft that you received and not the final copy because it has watermarks. And why would you have watermarks for work that you paid for? So the work you paid for, you just didn't use that thumb. You got to use that thumb instead. Cool. All right. Well, I hope that helped you a lot, Jim. I hope that helped any of you that are watching. This is kind of how it goes. I try and be honest. I try not to be mean, but I want to give you the straight up on how it goes. I don't want to hold any punches back, as the expression goes. It's like, if you're going to pay me to do a gig review, I want to help you out as best I can. I think all the talents that I work with show great potential. There is so much work for all of us out there. You just got to be diligent. You got to go about it the right way, and you got to be committed. You got to just not give up, because it takes a long time, it takes a lot of work. You can be very successful in this industry. It takes a lot of work. It does take a lot of work, and it takes some thick skin. And hopefully that's what I'm trying to help you out with, is thicken up your skin a little bit, because you got to get used to people telling you that it's not good, or that it needs to get better, or that you need to do this differently, because that's essentially that's what we're looking at, is it's an industry of rejection. All right, cool. Hey, if you're really into these types of videos, I got a ton of them on the channel. Check it out. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button so you can see all the videos as they come out. I'm here to help you out. Share these with some other voiceover artists, see if that can help them out as well. Again, if you're interested in getting yourself a gig review, you can drop down into the description right below. Click that link to get your gig reviewed. I'm happy to help you out. Hope you're having a great day. I wish you all the best in your business. I'll see you in the next video. And if you're interested in some more great content, check out the video that's on the screen right now. We'll see you later. See ya!